Welcome to the Get Into Motorsport podcast, where we hear from people involved in many different areas of the sport. They're going to be telling us where it all started for them. I am Holly Bailey, a former British Rally Championship driver and team manager, and as a rally instructor of over 20 years, one of the most commonly asked questions on the experience days was, how do I get into motorsport? If you want to hear more about the people already involved in motorsport and how they got started, don't forget to subscribe to get notified of the next episode. Today I'm at the Wiltshire College and University Centre, where Alan Wakeman and the Motorsport UK team have been presenting the StreetCar Initiative to the students there. Alan is going to explain to us what is needed to be able to compete in a number of grassroots events with just a club membership, a free Motorsport UK RS Clubman's licence and a standard road car. Hi Alan.
Hi there, Holly.
It's very gruff. We're here today at Wiltshire College because Alan's with Motorsport UK talking to the students here about getting into motorsport and all the events that you can do with just a standard road car. So tell us, Alan, what kind of thing can people do?
Well, there's 14 disciplines that people can have a go at. It's everything from trials, and there's 8 or 9 different types of rallies. There's also the 4x4 side. You can start in really whatever car you have today. So we need to start these new people on their journey in motorsport.
And what kind of licence do you need, or do they need to do these type of events?
Well, now everybody is licensed. But again, the good news is you can start with a free RS Clubman licence that you can literally get in a few minutes by signing up on the Motorsport UK website.
Okay, so what other costs do you need to consider? So how much do some of these events cost?
In terms of entry fees, typical 12 car or 2020, the entry fee can be down at £10-15, something like that. And that can give you a good night's motorsport. Going up to order solos, they're typically anything to £50, £65, £70. But again, that's a full day of motorsport. Tiger rallies, you can have a really good day's sport on the go all the time for about £100. But then for the higher end Tiger rallies and also road rallies, you can be over the £200. Always recommend start with the simpler type of events, ones which are probably non-damaging. Get to know the car, get to know whomever is sitting in the car with you, then go on out and progress wherever you see fit. Do what you enjoy. That's the bottom line. And it depends how ambitious you are as well. You can move into stage rallying, go racing, all sorts of different disciplines you can get into. But this is a great way to get started.
And the thing that I think some people will be really quite concerned about is insurance. So what do you have to consider when it comes to insurance?
Right, so there's various forms of insurance. So most cars you need insurance anyway to get to and from events, just normal regular road insurance. And if you're doing an auto solo, the car has to be road legal, so it needs to have an MOT, needs to have road tax, and of course it has to be driven to the event to prove that it's road legal, so you'll need insurance there. In terms of events where there's some competition or transfer sections on the public highway, then you'll need what's known as third-party insurance, and that is a little bit of an issue at present because there are very few suppliers of that, and currently it's £65 a night. However, you can get an annual policy, so you can do as many events as you want, and I was quoted £36 for that for a whole year.
Wow.
On top of my competition car insurance, and that will cover me for any number of events I want to do, whether it be road rallies, 12 cars, Tiger rallies, whatever. So that doesn't have to be a showstopper in terms of the insurance cost right now. But Motorsport UK are working on a solution, which I'm assured will be out soon.
That sounds much better value. So some of the sort of lower level events that you can use a standard road car, you don't really need any safety features on it. So you were talking about auto tests, trials, road rallies, that kind of thing.
Yeah, that's right.
Tell me more about it.
These are all events you can do in a bog standard car. I do know people that have gone out and bought a bog standard car at the weekend, even from the auctions or whatever, spent the week going through in the spare time, making sure that everything works, compete at the weekend. So it is possible to go and do it at minimal cost. There are people buying cars for £100, £200 or whatever, and then going out and competing. Streetcar doesn't mean that you just stop at that level. There are no technical regulations around streetcar. It's a promotional exercise to get people out competing in motorsport. And there's nothing stopping you fitting safety equipment into your standard car. Okay. You can fit a cage, you can fit seats, you can fit harnesses, whatever. But again, there are some events in the streetcar area, and it's in the higher end of Targas and road rallies, where you do need to prepare the car better. Some of these events do require rear cage and harnesses, but then you've probably already got proper sump guard, tank guards and whatever on there, because the surfaces are so rough. It's not real car breakers, but if you want to get to the end, a higher level of car preparation is always advised.
Okay, which actually makes me think about tyres. So what consideration needs to be given to tyres?
The biggest question. Yes, everybody goes to tyres. We keep the tyre regulations down to make sure the costs are kept down and the competition is more level.
So Targa rallies, what tyres do you need on Targa rallies?
There's a whole bunch of rallies. Let's start off nice and simply. Black and round, ultimately. You can run normal road tyres. There's all sorts of different tyres you can use. Just use what you've got. But obviously, the more competitive you want to be, then you may want to invest in better tyres. But the beauty for Targas is you don't need new tyres. You can go and pick up second-hand tyres from stage rally competitors and save yourself a lot of money.
Yes, and, so get in with some of the motorsport companies that run people's cars and see if you can sort out a deal with them.
Indeed. So those on stage rallies, they always want to run the newest tyres they possibly can. Then the end of the event, if they can sell those tyres on, get a bit of money back, and Targa Rally crews are very happy to actually go and pick them up.
Okay.
So they can be, for Targas, they can be expensive or they can be quite inexpensive as well, especially if you're using used ones. At the lower end, there are Pirelli P1s, which are used by the Ginetta Junior race series, and they are normally loads of them available on the market. The last time I looked on eBay, you could pick 4 of those up for £74 shipped. Tyres don't have to be expensive, and those tyres are quite good, the Pirellis.
If people are unsure about what discipline to do, some people have already said to me that the best thing to do is to join their local motor club, get out and marshal on some of the different types of events, just so that you can then decide which type of event suits you best and your budget.
Yep.
And is that what you would suggest?
Most definitely. You can read about these different disciplines, you can watch videos on YouTube, etc. But the only way to really find out how they work is to get out there and experience them directly. And the best way to do that, especially as most of these events aren't spectator events, the reason being we need marshals to actually look after the spectators, and we don't have that many marshals available. So these are non-spectator events. To actually experience an event, go and marshal. We need people, we need marshals out there to run the events, and the marshals gain a great deal of experience from being there.
And so what would you say is as well as being able to sort of try out the different disciplines, or what's the best thing about marshalling?
Right. Well, I like free, so that's the big thing. It doesn't cost anything to be a marshal.
Right.
And a lot of the streetcar events, there's no payment or anything like that, but you do join a very good community there, a very supportive community. So you're getting to find out all about other opportunities as well. You'll find out about other disciplines, or through word of mouth. If you want to then progress on the marshal side as well, you can go onto stage rallies, you can go into racing. There's a whole bunch of things there. And the beauty there, free, you can get into events without having to pay any form of spectator entry fee or whatever, and you get in stand in far better vantage points than spectators do in many respects.
And I heard you saying earlier that actually once you've been a marshal for a certain period of time, then you could be asked to marshal on events like the British Grand Prix and even go abroad.
You're quite right. Yep, there are ways you can progress through marshalling. There are different qualifications you can attain. And if you do enough of the right type of events, then yes, you can qualify to go out and do some very good events. We have marshals going to F1 races all around the world, because we do breed some very good marshals here in the UK, because there's some great progression training that Motorsport UK are rolling out there.
And that must be quite exciting, and to get closer to the action and to see some of these top drivers that you wouldn't ordinarily get close to.
Yeah, and you can be in very obvious places like the pit lane. You get a lot closer to the drivers, the teams and everything. There are very few people, apart from those who have access to the paddock club and that type, who have that type of access. Being a marshal gets you into places that other people can't get to.
And actually, then there may be other opportunities that may be that you then become an official, so you might then get involved in timekeeping or scrutineering or all sorts of other kind of things, signing on, stewarding. Lots of other things. That's quite exciting.
Yeah, you're quite right. I mean, there's all of those on the official side as well, actually running the events as well. Media. is a big one. So there are many people out there taking photos, videos, etc. You look at an F1 pit lane and all the photographers there. Then you've got Sky coverage. Each of the teams have their own media teams. Then, of course, teams, especially F1, the number of people in there. I've got a friend whose son has just started in aero in Aston Martin. His father worked at, I used to kart. His father was actually Nico Rosberg's race engineer when Nico won the F1 championship and beat Lewis.
We don't get to hear about these people ordinarily. The unsung heroes in the background.
Indeed. I karted with him. He went through Nissan touring cars. He looked after the front suspension on the Primera race cars. Then he progressed to Williams, and he went from Williams to Mercedes. Since finishing in F1, he went on to the Formula E team at Mercedes. Then they were bought by McLaren, and he's now moved on to another Formula E team. So from being a mechanic right the way through to setup, collecting data, comparing data, you name it. His son, who's now joined Aston Martin, he did a master's degree at Cambridge. Very appropriate for aero. Something I think we should present at these types of events is job boards for jobs in motorsport. We've covered all the top end. But there's how do people get there as well. You need instructors, you need coaches, you need venues, you need all of the people out there to test people for ARDS tests, for bars tests, that type of thing.
Yeah.
We have coaches out there. We have coaches for football right the way through. That is still growing in motorsport. So there's all these different roles. Every team has a catering team as well. So somebody has to keep them fed and whatever. So quite often we'll come to these sort of events and we'll get people from the hospitality trade actually coming in saying, how can we get involved? What can we actually do? They have aspirations. They know what their core discipline is, what they enjoy doing, but they like the glamour of getting into motorsport and what they can deliver there.
Yes, because then the sponsors need looking after, don't they?
Quite.
It's not just guests, it's sponsors, it's the team themselves need feeding. They're busy, they're focusing on the job in hand, so to have food on hand when they need it is quite important.
Yep. Then of course you've got the fitness instructors as well. It goes on and on and on.
Yeah.
There's a whole huge infrastructure out there. Truck drivers right the way through. Taking the kit and the cars and the engines, whatever, to and from the tracks, right the way through to those who are based back at home, working in the offices, making sure they're doing the design, developing new components, etc., etc. Now, obviously, that's very much high end, very much for Formula One, but it works in different ways at different levels in every team. Bottom line is you need all these different skills in every team. There is an opportunity there for people to start in lower, smaller teams in lower disciplines further down the ladder where they can actually build up the experience. But then if they're ambitious and they desire to actually want to progress, there are many different ways they can actually move into higher ends and also how much money they can make.
Lots of exciting opportunities. Well, thank you for that, Alan. And good luck. Are you going to be going to another college to talk to the students?
We're always looking for more colleges, universities we can go to, because there are many colleges out there that run motorsport qualifications and they don't have proper strong links to Motorsport UK. And we can see this is where the future people for motorsport are going to come from. We need people who have the right skills and these emerging skills because they're changing over time. There's still a need for mechanical skills, but there's more software skills that are required. There's more diagnostic skills. There's a whole bunch of new skills that we need out there to actually move motorsport forward. Because ultimately, a lot of these technologies and advances will also end up in road cars as well.
That's lovely. Thanks very much, Alan, and thank you for talking to me.
Thanks for your time, Holly. It's been great talking to you as well.
Thank you to Alan, and thank you to you for listening. If you want to find out where your local motor club is, go to the Motorsport UK Find a Club webpage. If you want to hear more about people getting into motorsport, listen out for the next episode, released every Friday.